Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Finger Guns Podcast with Tony, Dave, and James. I am your too many hosts in the kitchen, co-host Jimmy, and I'm here with...
Too old for this shit, Dave Baldwin.
Yeah, and...
Big T, Tony B.
And when I say there's too many hosts in the kitchen, I'm literally just sitting across from my kitchen right now, but we got two special guests.
Woo!
We are excited. So first, we'll welcome back longtime returning friend of the podcast,
Matt M. Smooth Layden.
Matt M. Smooth is in the building. We love this. Thank you. Welcome back.
Thank you very much. I'm glad being back, seeing familiar faces.
Yeah, it was fun last time. I don't even remember what freaking movie you were on.
Evil Dead.
It was an Evil Dead. That was it.
Man.
Yeah. There's a host that could be Matt Layden appropriate.
That movie was super wet. How could you forget?
It is the wettest movie. And I'd like to welcome longtime listener, first time joiner,
Greg the Keg.
Yeah.
Oft mentioned.
First time
appearing on the show.
Yes.
Woo!
Have we ever referred to him as Superfriend? Superfan?
Yeah, we have
Superfan.
Superfan.
Yeah. Well, welcome, Superfan Greg.
Thank you.
I was going to call him the artist formerly known as Greg the Keg, but I appreciate that
It's back.
You brought it
It's
back.
going.
I was hoping you were going to bring it back.
I didn't take the time to come up with an adjective beginning with G for the alliteration. So, I'm the classic.
There you go.
It's fine.
It works for us.
I feel like Dave is one of the few that still does. I ran out of J letters a long time ago, and I'm just making it work now. Tony's always big tasty. That's not even alliteration. He's just big and tasty.
He doesn't call it Big Tasty. He just says Big T now.
Big T.
Yeah.
He dropped the tasty.
Drops
It's cleaner.
You got to evolve sometimes.
We got a lot to talk about, and that there's 5 of us. It means we're going to be throwing a shitload of movies at people today. So, shall we get into it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Let's fucking get to it.
Fuck yeah. So we're going to start off with our usual then. Some best by worst. We're going to do it a little differently.
Yeah, just a little differently.
All right. Trying to save everybody's ears from bleeding from hearing us talk about, whatever it is, 15 movies.
Well,
Come on, man. We're back on our bullshit.
We've been back on our bullshit, Tony.
if our fans have been around this long, then they know what to expect.
This is true, but I just never want to go back to the all TIFF 2.5 hour episode ever again in my life.
Let's shoot for 3.
Yeah.
I actually listened to that episod not too
Dave
long ago. It
Director's
wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad. It wasn't as bad as you say it was.
No,
James is
see,
literally falling asleep at the mic.
that was what I remember. I remember the record. It's not a bad episode. I remember the pain in my eyeballs staring at a freaking Zoom, watching these two talk about 28 more movies, and I was like, fuck, I don't even care anymore.
Well, if that was a Zoom call, then yeah. Because I know like
So
your
much
teams
worse.
meetings or whatever. Like, yeah.
Just nodding off. Just, all right, Dave, what's the next one?
What? Yeah, I was listening.
Was this the one that you fell asleep in the theater for? Yeah, probably. We know what happens. It's late in the festival. We get it.
I know. I found out that I slept through a lot of Richard Linklater's Hitman recently. And Tony is very upset at me.
Do you realize how hard he had to hustle to get that fucking ticket? That fucking ticket. I literally left mid-conversation with somebody to run and get this fucking ticket.
Yeah. And he
Slept. He slept.
Yeah, it's
Like,
Who the fuck is Gary?
what the fuck, man? Like, what the hell? I remember I literally stayed awake that entire fucking movie. I may
course
have
you did.
catnapped during one of the short films before.
sure.
But
That's fine.
like, I was fucking ready for this movie. You suck.
You'd think after however many years you've been doing this that you would have a game plan of how to stay awake during certain movies.
Usually I do. We went to one movie and I literally just slept because I didn't want to watch it.
We had to kill time, man.
We did have to kill time. We were late that day.
Yeah.
We were late that day.
You know what? At the end of the day, it's a dark room. It might not be a quiet room, but it's a dark room.
Sure, sort of comfy. You had the right
Yeah. Especially if it's at maybe like Scotiabank on an aisle, you can stretch your legs out a little bit.
Yeah.
You can fall asleep there.
Maybe like you like kind of like tuck yourself in, so you got like a little like pillow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As long as it's not the IMAX theater.
Perfected the art of sleeping in a movie theater.
Well, like, you know, Matt, sometimes, man, when
Yeah,
you're
you
like
see
35, 40 movies in,
He's got like 6 Welch's packages sitting on his lap. He's gone.
It's
Just bring an adrenaline shot.
You come and you do that many movies with us, and we'll see how long you last.
You need a donut, man. Your ass hurts.
This is why we need to revive 90-minute movies.
Yes.
No more of these 3-hour ones. It's a marathon.
That's like one of the prerequisites when we're looking at movies.
Yeah.
Unless it's a movie we desperately want to see, it has to be sub 100.
We get a festival list. We're sorting by runtime, like giving all the 90s and under.
Yeah.
63 minutes, bliss. Yes, I'll take 100 of those, please.
We're looking at the runtime first. We see the title, runtime, and then
When I'm checking my letterbox and I realize I haven't watched a movie in a month, that's what I do too.
All right, what can I do quickly?
Yeah.
I love it.
Who wants to lead us off?
Do you want me to go first, just so we can kind of do the way we're going to do it tonight?
You got it.
Sure. Okay. So my best is Gus Van Sant's My Own Private Idaho, which I've never seen before.
Oh shit! I've always wanted to see that.
Keanu Reeves, River Phoenix, R.I.P. Really, really well done.
Yeah.
Kind of slow, kind of very dreamy, very Shakespearean for some of it, which I thought was kind of odd. But there's a 3-way scene between River Phoenix, Keanu Reeves, and Udo Kier, so that's kind of fun.
Nice.
Did not expect the third name on that.
And he shoots it.
it's like a tableau style.
Yeah, he shoots it in like tableau style. So it's just like they're just like in a spot, and then they're in another spot, then they're in another spot. But yeah, it's Udo Kier is the third. So
love it.
There's that.
That's
Flea shows up. That's kind of fun.
Naturally, he just shows up in things now.
But it's just really, really well done, and I think it's another example of River Phoenix proving what a fucking talent he was and how fucking tragic it is that he's no longer with us.
True.
Because he would have been a monster fucking celebrity.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, just...
We got Joaquin.
We did get Joaquin, but he's not River. River,
Yeah, we could have had two.
We could have had to.
River, there's something about his charisma and something about like his delivery where you just hang on everything.
Yeah.
So he has this weird thing where he's like narcoleptic, so that's a little odd plot point for no reason.
Yeah,
I didn't really care about that, but everything else aces. You should definitely check it out. And then I have 2 mids. One is a high, one is a low. So my high mid is a little film called Law Abiding Citizen, starring Gerard Butler and Jamie Foxx. That movie is trash.
Hell yeah.
But it's elevated trash because Gerard Butler is fucking awesome in it. I forgot almost everything about that movie, minus the fact that Gerard Butler stabs a guy with the T-bone steak.
Yeah.
That's the steak he stabs a guy with. I was like, this is a lot more violent than I remember it being. But it's more of a psychological horror thriller than like an actual thriller.
Right.
But it's well done.
That's good.
It's well done for what it is, and definitely having Gerard and Jamie Foxx as your leads definitely elevate it over the trash that it actually is.
Fair.
And then my low mid is a film that's very close to Tony's heart. It's a film called Accepted, starring Justin Long and Blake Lively and Jonah Hill.
Nice.
It's not good.
Yeah, I bet not.
Not good.
Fuck you.
Not good.
Fuck
Jonah
you.
Hill is great.
Did you ask him about his wiener?
No, I did not ask him about his wiener.
Battle Royale.
But
A lot of comedies that came out that era are not that great looking back at.
yeah,
You know?
it's mildly amusing, and I appreciate that it gets right to the fucking plot right immediately away. I don't know if you guys remember what it's about, but he doesn't get accepted into college, so he starts his own.
Yes.
And then he's kind of like doing it like in the shadows type thing and trying not to tell his parents, and he's getting into all sorts of hijinks. But that happens in the first like 10 minutes of the movie. And if they were making that movie today, it would have happened in like the first 40 minutes.
Jeez.
So it's very quick to get to that point. And then, it's mildly amusing as it goes along. And yes, Jonah Hill asks about his wiener.
That movie is fucking perfect.
And it's far from perfect.
Not, Tony.
It is far
Tony, when was
from
the last time
perfect.
you saw it?
It is I watched it recently. I fucking said it on this podcast that it's one of the greatest movies of 2006.
Monthly. Do you watch that movie monthly?
I fucking wish I did because the movie is just so good, man. Justin Long is just he is magic in that movie.
Can I just say that it's quite lovely to see a Justin Long movie where he's not a scream queen in it?
Oh, that is nice.
It's nice that he's not screaming through that whole movie or getting brutally murdered.
I mean, but sometimes I want that.
It's true. It's true. That is his bread and butter now.
Yes.
But back then, when they were trying to make him a heartthrob, it's nice. It's nice to see him not do the scream queen thing.
This is fair.
He's just a lovable jackass, and you just want to, you just want to squeeze.
He will always be Randy St. James to me.
Yeah, legit.
That's true. Lewis Black is in it too. And he's basically playing
wild.
himself.
Yeah.
So
I don't know that he can play anything else. Yeah.
Blake Lively's the love interest.
the love interest. Yeah. There was one other person I wanted to mention just because I saw him and I was like, what the fuck is this guy doing here? Where is it? Give me 10 seconds.
9.
8.
8.
You went home and watched it.
Yeah, why don't you tell us? Who's he think
His name is Anthony Held or Healed. It's this fucking guy, and he's always a piece of shit in every fucking movie he's in.
Yeah.
Literally any movie he's in, he's a piece of shit.
Character actor, piece of shit. Yeah.
And it's like I want to see him just do like a lovely, like a geriatric, like a geriatric rom-com or something, just where he's like lovable. Like I just don't want him to be a piece of shit every single time. Like he needs range. Yeah. Give me some range,
They typecast him. What are you going to do?
Hey, we need a piece of shit older guy.
What's he doing?
What's that guy from Silence of the Lambs doing?
Yeah. Get him in here.
He's got a mortgage to pay. He's got a lane to stay in.
This is true. Come on. This is true. This is true. But yeah, those are my 3.
Nice. Next.
Who wants to go next?
I guess I'll go.
Sure. Oh, we're going to go around the table.
Yeah, let's do that.
All right.
So, best. I watched this film last night, John Carpenter's Christine. Stephen King adapted book.
Yes.
Has anybody here seen it?
Yes.
Yes.
I love it.
No.
I have not.
That is a shame.
Yeah.
It's quite the film. So it takes place in the late 70s. Basically, it's Teton before it was Teton. The guy wants to fuck his car.
As you do.
I don't know how else to explain it.
It's a great car.
Gorgeous car. Evil car kills people.
Yeah.
There's no rhyme or reason. They don't explain it. Christine is just evil from the get-go.
Yeah.
I would rank it lower tier John Carpenter, but that is still a great film. I watched it for a theme with a few of my friends. They weren't as high on it as I was, unfortunately, but like it's right up my alley. It's my genre. Beautiful practical effects.
Your genre, car fucking movies.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Obviously, he's
So Stephen King wrote this in 1983. Peak cocaine, Stephen King.
Yeah, that and Cujo for sure. But yeah, as I was saying, like beautiful practical effects. There's a scene where all these bullies destroy the car and then it rebuilds itself. Obviously reversed footage, but it looks amazing. The cinematography when the car's driving at night, it's gorgeous. So especially when the car's on fire and you get the contrast. It's so beautiful. And I highly recommend that you guys watch it ASAP.
I clearly did not do a good enough job selling it last time because it's been like over a year since I've seen that and I still haven't watched it.
One of the things that I will say in the beginning, it is a little misogynistic towards women.
It's the 80s.
It is the 80s. There's a part where they refer to women as sperm banks and all that.
Yeah.
But that's just in the beginning. Once Christine is introduced, it hits into high gear, no pun intended, and it's really great.
They don't refer to as Christine as a sperm bank, do they?
No, just the humans.
Although,
I also assume you're not meant to root for the guys using that term.
I assume not.
Yeah.
No. I don't think you're supposed to really root for any, but maybe you're supposed to root for Christine.
Christine goes through some shit, man.
If you're from Australia, you are meant to root for Christine.
They probably went through like a dozen different cars because
easily
they fuck it up pretty hardcore.
There is a Hallmark ornament this year of Christine.
Oh, I know, Dave. Do you not think that I've circled Christine?
Is that what you want?
It's one of the ones I want. That might be a Boxing Day one.
Yeah, me too.
So that's my best. My meh, I'll say high meh. because I really enjoyed this film, and it's The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, starring Nick Cage. What's that pen drop for?
I'm listening. I'm waiting to
fine.
hear.
I said hi.
I'm waiting to hear. I'm waiting to hear.
And Pedro Pascal. It's a film, I'm watching it, and I can tell how funny the script was. And a lot of that comedy does get through. Ooh. And I think Pedro Pascal actually steals the limelight from Nick Cage in the movie in an odd way, because he's so lovable and doe-eyed. It's hard to not love that guy. And I laughed. It was a hilarious movie. I just think Christine.
It's a better movie.
That's fine.
Yeah, they could be interchangeable, but I got to give the edge to John Carpenter on this one.
Okay.
And this is a film everybody has seen.
Yes.
Are we all in agreement with that?
Yes.
Dave, you pen dropped, so you have something to say on that.
It's fine.
James
I'm
got
okay
it
with
like a
everything that you
4.5
said.
stars.
I gave it a 4.
So I like it less than you.
Yeah, so I gave it a 3.5, and I gave Christine a 3.5, but like edging on a 4, I would say.
Yeah. The Tiffany Haddish stuff, you probably.
That's
I don't
the
really
thing.
like that stuff.
Her character and Ike Barinholtz, like you could kind of eliminate them, because I keep forgetting that they're in the movie altogether.
Yeah, they keep showing up. You're just like, oh, right.
And he completely disappears. Like, she shows up, at least the version I saw, she keeps showing up to talk to Nick Cage, but he's not in the movie after they introduce him.
Well, that and Ike is basically playing Ike.
Yeah. And like her exit, like, it's kind of like a limp exit, kind of.
It's just because where it goes at the end, it's just kind of a little like not as good, not as clean as it should be.
I agree with that.
I also just felt if you're basing it on Nicolas Cage, you have such a deeper well you could be drawing from, and I feel like these people kind of focused on the Con Air and the Face Off and the Rock of it all, and they did draw from that other stuff, but like not nearly as much as they could have.
Well, I think it was for more like general Nick Cage fans, not like the deep cut.
The meme of him, not necessarily like let's really dig into it. But you could have.
You could have. You could have.
That's true. So that's my high, Matt. Dave, don't kill me. And my worst, I'm pretty sure I'm the only one that's seen this film. It's Space Cadet.
Oh, jeez, that fucking Prime movie.
The Amazon Prime movie.
Why did you do that to yourself?
Starring Emma Roberts.
Nepo baby Emma Roberts.
Nepo baby Emma Roberts.
Okay.
She's been going on about it for the last 2 weeks or something.
Yeah, she doesn't feel like it's been helping her at all.
Yeah, exactly. It's because she's Julia Roberts' niece, not her daughter.
True.
She's Eric Roberts' daughter. That's why.
So it doesn't apply.
Exactly.
It's Eric Roberts. I love Eric Roberts.
Eric Roberts of The Dark Knight.
Yes.
Yes,
not Eric Roberts of the movie he made last night.
Yeah.
That's got some debts.
He must.
Not Nick Cage level debts, but
No.
When people talk about Nick Cage that way, I really feel like they should talk about Eric Roberts. They really should look at what Eric Roberts has been putting out.
Yeah.
Tell us more about Space
I don't
Cadet.
want to be honest.
That was enough.
That was enough. When I watched it on Prime, people have been calling it Legally Blonde in space. I kind of think that's an insult to Legally Blonde, because that film is charming. It's got Reese Witherspoon. It's actually, I think, well written and smart and funny. This movie has none of that. And it's basically about a Florida woo girl bartender who has aspirations to become an astronaut, but due to personal tragedy, can't do it. And then years later, there's an opportunity for her to train as an astronaut, and her friend lies on her resume, and all of a sudden she finds herself at NASA beating all the odds, going into space. Like, it's just really ridiculous. Poorly written, not funny. And in my review, I said that I should have my cinema film card taken away from me. I stand by that. It's near the bottom of the year for me. That was
Rough.
Yeah.
Rough. It's funny you mentioned Legally Blonde, because Osgood Perkins is in that movie. And we're going to be talking about him soon, too.
Well, I like to try and connect everything. I
like
got
that.
Nick Cage.
I like that.
I got Osgood.
I like
I see what
that.
you're getting at.
I've
the
got
car
the theme
fucking
going too,
movie.
so don't worry.
And the car fucking. Yeah, that's all.
So
That all
avoid
checks out.
Space Cadet and see Christine.
That's good. That's good. I like that. I like that.
Before James goes, on a scale of 1 to
Christine?
Ghosts of Mars, How much better is Christine than Ghost of Mars?
Incredibly better.
Okay. Because Tony was a big fan of Ghosts of Mars. He was trying to tell us that it was a great John Carpenter film, and I watched it, and it's not a great John Carpenter film.
I literally said that I don't know what I was thinking when we talked about that.
But also,
throw me
to
under
be
the bus
fair,
like that.
Tony hasn't seen Christine.
That's true.
Tony doesn't know.
All right, I guess we're going home and watching Christine when we get home.
I'm watching Accepted when I get home.
Oh my god. Jesus.
Fuck. If I get a text from you later that's just like, oh, smell about my wiener, I will be very upset.
You know what? I'm going to text you.
Is it going to be asked you about your wiener?
Battle Royale.
That part's
That was
not
a bad one. That was a bad one. I have a better
It
one
wasn't
in
very
me.
good.
I got a better one in here.
What if I watch it tonight and I text you?
I was going to set up schedules to just spam Dave that GIF for the next 8 hours.
Great.
Fuck yeah.
You bring it on yourself.
I know I do. I know I do.
All right. My 3.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to start off with my best. And yeah, from the last episode where we got to talking about Airplane briefly, I went home and I watched Airplane pretty much immediately. I think it took me like an extra day to finish it because I fell asleep watching it the first time because it was like 1 o'clock in the morning. But yeah, motherfucking Airplane. I love that movie so much. It is cannot exist today, but continues to just be like, hey, if you didn't like that last joke, don't worry. It's 15 seconds have passed. Here's another joke. Here's another joke. Here's another sight gag. Here's another. It just keeps going for it's blissfully short, like hour and a half runtime. It's
a perfect movie where you need to rewatch it to get the jokes again
because there's so many of them.
So many because you're laughing. You miss the follow up.
Yeah,
bad day to stop huffing glue.
Yeah, it just kept getting worse. Anyway, it's so excellent and like everything with the fact that Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is in it and like also is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar just pretending to be a pilot and like the kid is calling him out on that and like gets so mad at him.
Great film.
It's great. So that's my best. And if you haven't seen it in a while and feel like you need to laugh, just throw it on. It's always good for a chuckle. Second, it's going to be in 2 parts. It actually goes further and further down. So on the weekend, I watched a Hollywood film called Indian. Came out in 1996. Long and short of the movie, it's a old man who is tired of the corruption and bribes in India and takes that upon himself to deliver his own brand of justice. It's
speaking my language.
3 hours long.
Not speaking my language.
But it's a well-told story. Like it has a point. He has a motive. You can follow it along. It's 3 hours. Yes, there are like 4 separate songs that occur. There is an intermission as well. So like it is like, yeah. So let's, temper that expectation a little bit, but it just kind of goes and like you're watching this man just sort of exact vengeance. You're trying to figure out why at first, and then you slowly start piecing everything together and like, oh shit, like that's what happened. That's why he's doing this. And like it ends in a way that is challenging and like how like where do you sort of draw a line in the sand? Do you draw a line in the sand? How much do you stick with your own morals versus being on the right side of something or like protecting your family?
Is it like Death Wish? The way you're describing it sounds very Death Wishy.
Ish, yeah. There's just a lot of other things going on. Like you're not just following his storyline. There's like 4 others, and they all kind of
it's 3 hours line. I hope it's not. We're just watching one guy for 3 hours.
There's lots. It's very good. The reason we watched it was the second movie, which is I guess almost 30 years in the making. Came out over the weekend called Indian 2, which I am moving to my worst category for the list. Less than 3 hours. And I saw it. I went to the Lightbox, by the way, to see it, which was a lot of fun.
Yeah, nice. Nice. What screen was it?
1.
Ooh,
nice.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, it was really nice. The first half of the movie up until the end, they did have a proper intermission with like a full break, and we stopped and everything, so that was nice. So it did end up, the runtime was over 3 hours, but the actual movie runtime was not over 3 hours because that intermission was like 20 minutes long. First half of the movie, pretty good. A lot of newer effects, obviously, because, you know, it's been almost 30 years. It looked a lot better. The guy so in the original one, it's the same guy that plays the old man and that plays his son. So he's like wearing old prosthetic makeup. He's aged 30 years, so he doesn't need the old prosthetic makeup anymore. First half of this movie was pretty good. You were like, oh shit. Like the way that they decided to bring him back, because at the end of Indian, he leaves India. He goes to Taiwan and is in hiding.
As you do.
He came back because the corruption sort of came back, and there was like a social media campaign to get him back from some like guerrilla grassroots like news organization on YouTube trying to like end the corruption within India again. So he comes back and he's ready to like exact vengeance. So his motives are a little bit less clear, other than bribe's bad, kill people. So he just kind of does that. But it does end up challenging you a little bit more into like, again, how do you protect your own family from that? If your own family member was caught in an illegal activity, what do you do? Do you turn them in or not, sort of thing? That was all in the first half. Pretty solid. Second half, lost the fucking plot. Just immediately fell off a cliff. It just became like a weird action movie that didn't really know what it was trying to say anymore. Like it just forgot everything that it just did in the first half, and then became like weirdly like a superhero movie. There is I could kid you not, a 45-minute unicycle chase scene that is as riveting as it sounds. It's not. And every time the action feels like it needs to be like hyped up, they cranked the audio mix, and the audio mix was brutally loud. Like blaring my eardrums, needing to like plug my ears occasionally because it was just incredibly loud.
And that was deliberate, obviously.
Yeah, absolutely deliberate. So all in all, like it could have gone somewhere good. Fell off in the last half, and not worth it. Really not worth it. They're making a third, and I think maybe a fourth, but definitely a third.
Jeez.
And I'm not seeing it in theater. We've opted to just not.
It took them over 30 years to make the second one.
It took over 30 years. They started making this film in 2017, and then a bunch of people have died during the production of it, so they've had to like pause, and then COVID happened, so they had to pause again. So like this movie's taken like 7 years to come out and be finished. But yeah, another on.
So we're not expecting number 3 for another 10 years.
I think they might have made it on the heels of this one, but okay. I'm not seeing it in the theater. Fuck that. I'm not going deaf for Indian 3. There was also a tagline to the movie so Indian was just Indian, but Indian 2, which I don't think they put it in here, was Indian 2: zero tolerance. And
not fucking around
Indian
with that.
3, because there's a preview for Indian 3 and the credits of Indian 2 is war zone. I'm like, what? Fuck it.
They have the perfect Warzone movie.
Yeah.
Punisher.
Well, yes. It's back, and now he's Indian.
Oh.
That sounds fucking awesome.
All right, Tom. I'll make sure you get it.
Are we sure they didn't film 2 and 3 simultaneously? And like a 2
They might have. I'm not 100% sure if they did or didn't actually. Yeah. They might have done both.
With all those delays, it kind of sounds like the producer was just like, we have them right now. Let's just shoot the third one.
There was like a full memorial before the movie. Like it was like the production companies, and then it was like in memory of, and like 7 people's photos were on screen. And I was like, Jesus.
That's bad luck. I just finished a rewatch of Twin Peaks: The Return, and like it's the same story where like so many of those actors died like a year after it came out. It was the last possible minute they could have done that.
Yeah, wild. Yeah, it's wild. Anyway, that's my 3. Great.
Cool. My best. Yesterday I texted Dave and Matt because I didn't have a best, and I was like, "What do I watch? Pig or Mandy?" And Dave right away said Pig is the better film. Matt said he hadn't seen it, but your words about Mandy weren't exactly stellar.
Yeah.
And I was like, I need a best. I'm going with Pig. I'm really happy I did. Super good movie. Excellent movie.
Yeah.
I had no idea what to expect from it. I just knew that Nicolas Cage loses a truffle pig at the start of the movie. And I had just come off last week watching all 4 John Wick movies.
Sure. Perfect.
And so I was like, this movie knows what you're expecting. Like it has its finger on that button saying like, I know you want me to press this button where he just goes rampage and I'm never going to do it.
Yeah.
But I'm going to keep my finger on that button just so you feel it. It's like 90 minutes long. In that runtime, multiple times, it spends like 10 minutes plus just being super quiet, super solemn, doing something very like mundane. And it makes like perfect use of the lack of words and the lack of like meaningful action in a way that adds a lot of meaning to what that film is about. I in a word, I would say it's an economical movie. It does so much with so little.
Yeah.
It does so much by doing so little. Great performance by Nicolas Cage. Great performance by Alex Wolff, who like when he comes up at the start of the movie, you're like, who's this asshole?
Yeah.
And like he comes along, he knocks it out of the park by the end.
Yeah.
Great movie. Watch it.
I think Nick Cage has said that that's his favorite role that he's ever done.
Yeah. Yeah, he said that a few times. Yeah.
Yeah, that was on his list, wasn't it?
was on his list.
Doesn't surprise me. It's fantastic. My meh, keeping up the trend of having 2 mehs, is Beverly Hills Cop, 1984. Beverly Hills Cop,
Meh.
Axel F, 2024. Yeah, meh. Both of those movies start very well, and then just kind of like the action gets kind of generic, the comedy gets kind of generic. The first one obviously was more of a trendsetter. I would call it generic, having seen everything that's been influenced by it over the past 40 years.
Yeah.
It still didn't, like, by the end of the movie, I was like, oh, it's just action, it's just comedy. I fucking love the theme song.
Oh, yeah.
Of course.
Well, I mean, they beat you over the head with
You
it.
keep
Better.
you keep on playing it every 30 seconds, and I'm there for it every single time.
Yeah.
If
It's fantastic.
a theme song that's that good, you want it to play every 30
Yeah,
seconds.
absolutely.
Judge Reinhold is amazing in it. He is so delightful. I'm so happy to see him. And in Axel F, I'm so sad that they sideline him for the entire movie.
Yeah.
My bigger criticism about Axel F in particular is it's one of those like not quite nostalgia, but like one of those like sequel reboot type things where it keeps on calling back to the original. It's like squeezing older actors into the same clothes they were wearing 40 years ago, saying the same lines they were saying 40 years ago, and does a lot more of like the kids these days don't know how we had it, which is a weird tone for Eddie Murphy to say about the LAPD in the 80s.
Yeah.
But also he's saying it against Joseph Gordon-Levitt, who's 43 years old.
True.
You don't get to kids these days a 43-year-old.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's fair. I didn't realize he's 43.
Fuck.
He's like a couple months away from being Generation X. Okay, he's not a kid.
Wow.
Yeah.
And my worst is Independence Day Resurgence.
Oh, Lord.
I watched
That's
I watched
valid.
Independence Day on the 4th, and I watched Independence Day Resurgence on the 5th.
Excellent.
Independence Day is way too long. Independence Day Resurgence is way too short, and I don't want more of it. But but like the first hour of ID4 from 25 years ago, whatever, like introduces you to so many characters that like at the 1 hour mark, almost to the second, you just watch them all get slaughtered.
Yeah.
And you just like enjoy it, feel sad about it, whatever reaction you want to get.
The dog survives though.
Dog survives, which is very important. And Independence Day Resurgence doesn't do any of that. Doesn't like make you feel for any of the characters who you lose, any who are left behind. Nobody has the charisma of Will Smith.
Yeah.
They create a lot of like extra plot about like this millennia-long war, this intergalactic and shit. You can keep that. Don't explain a word of it. Just show me the aliens fighting the humans. That's all I care about. I don't care about this weird orb and like the last of its species. Don't bother me with that.
I don't remember.
I don't remember any of it.
Here's the thing.
I remember them going upside down.
Here's
like,
the
at
thing.
one point, and
I wrote this down so that I would remember it because I would remember none of this.
I remember they make Brent Spiner, like he comes back and they make his relationship explicitly gay with the other guy.
Yeah, pretty close.
Which In the first one, it's kind of just like a subtle thing, and this time it's much more explicitly like they're gay.
I don't even remember the other guy being in the first
He
one.
is.
Okay.
He is.
Is there a school bus in a desert?
Yes.
That's all I remember from this movie.
There you go.
Nothing else.
There you go.
Oh yeah, Joey King. This was not my introduction to Joey King, but Joey King fucking sucks. Like, be a better actor, teenager. What's wrong with you?
These kids these days.
Kids these days. Kids these days.
And it has the audacity to end on a sequel hook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I remember.
And I'm like, how fucking dare you, Roland Emmerich? Who do you think you are?
The guy that made Moonfall is the guy that
Yeah.
Roland Emmerich thinks he is.
I'm not giving that a shot.
Don't
do it.
Don't do it.
I mean, no, but kind of though, because
No.
it's so bananas.
No.
That has Sam Tarly in it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so
I already hate
bananas,
him
though.
so much.
Is that the one with the Audi commercial?
Yes.
Yes, it sure
Watch
is.
the Audi commercial and then you got
Ridiculous.
I
And
started
then the
watching
end.
that the other day, and I turned it off with like 15 minutes.
You made the right choice.
You know, I did that with Madam Web. That was going to be my first first 15 minutes of Madam Web, and then I turned it off and I couldn't take anymore.
saw
But
that
I
in
felt like
theaters.
I felt like that was cheating. I felt like I had to see the
Yeah.
actual worst.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, it does. It's the worst.
It gets much worse.
so much.
It doesn't get any better.
I'm aware of what's wrong with it. I just haven't watched it.
Don't bother.
Don't
bother.
We
We did it.
The
So
four
you
of
don't
us
get it.
all
You don't
watched
have
it.
to.
He saw it in the
Oh,
theater.
you guys did a podcast, so did I just listen to that?
Yeah, yeah.
He saw it in the theater. You don't need to see it.
Yeah, you can skip it. Skip it. Chuck it in the bin.
Yeah.
Don't even pick it up on Boxing Day for $5. Well, Dave might, but
The steelbook's pretty awesome.
there it is. See, I knew it was coming. He's the moment it drops on sale, below $20, it's going on Dave's
I'm
shelf.
just saying, for $5, that steelbook's worth $5.
Well, okay, fine.
But it's on Crave, and so for $20 a month, I can watch it every month.
Yes, you could. Yes, you could.
That's a good use of your money.
Yeah.
Yeah. You tell Crave. You know what? You be that one generative statistic that
It's
when they look
gonna
at
be
their
that-
analytics, they're like, "The fuck is this guy?"
It's gonna be that bring back Morbius thing.
Why is this guy watching?
He's only watched Madam Web since he started this account. What?
Why is he just watching Madam Web?
You know, he was watching like House of the Dragon, and then he stopped when he found Madam Web.
He wasn't really hooked onto it. We can't. We're going to remove it from the server. We can't.
No.
We can't.
Just one guy's paying $20 a month just to watch this movie.
Dave Zaslav would do that.
Yeah.
He's got that kind of business acumen.
Yeah.
It's true.
Tony.
Okay, for my best, I have a little film from the 90s called Twister. This movie fucking slaps.
I still need to see it.
It is so
Never
good.
seen
You guys have
Twister.
never seen
Oh
Twister?
You never seen it either, Greg?
It's a fucking certified bang.
I feel like an aunt probably had it on VHS when I was like 7.
Yeah. Yeah.
We fucking wore our VHS tape of Twister.
I've been in Twister at Universal Studios.
I have to.
This movie's great. I just got the Steelbook Happy Hand Job 4K of it,
Nice.
and it looks magical on 4K. I also want to point out I didn't realize how much of an influence Spielberg really had on the film, because like when you're watching it, all the score is like literally straight out of a Spielberg movie. And
So
it's
John Williams.
but yeah, so the sequel is coming out this week. I'm super excited for it because I have a huge man crush on Glenn Powell.
Sure.
I'm sure everybody has a man
Of
crush on
course,
Glenn
of course.
Powell.
I've been listening to that fucking Luke Combs song from the trailer all week, and I'm fucking ready. Got my 40X tickets. Yeah. Fuck yeah. For my Met, also have one from the 90s.
Sure.
I was surprised by 4K of this movie showing up on my doorstep just suddenly.
That's nice.
Hats off to Dave over there. Thank you. It is a film that I'm going to get flack for being in my Met, but it's a film called Godzilla from 1998.
Oh.
Like
not
that.
to-
Wait, like Mez Too High?
Directed by Roland Emmerich.
Godzilla.
Do you think we love that movie?
Yeah.
I love that movie. I said I was going to get flack. Like,
Oh,
you
for
guys
putting it in the
fucking hate, like rag on me.
Oh.
Not for me.
Not for me.
Not for me.
No, Mez is properly slotted.
But it's so trash, but it's so good. Like,
Yeah.
it's-
Sure.
Like Godzilla, like was just working out overnight because he's like super lean, he's super buff. I don't know
Sure.
why, but like fuck yeah. And it sets up like one of the best animated series.
I thought
It was a good cartoon. I
I
like that.
thought in that
Yeah.
movie Godzilla is a
That's
she.
true. Totally missed that point.
There we go. Thanks.
I just love Jean Reno in that movie.
I like to cast The Simpsons in that movie.
Now that you say it makes perfect sense. They make a comment about it, how it's asexual amphibian. Yeah, there we go.
There you go.
I mean, it's a huge plot element to the film.
Yeah, it's pretty crucial.
Yeah, pretty crucial.
In fact, you just mentioned part of how crucial that plot point is.
Technically, male seahorses give birth.
Okay.
So it's not a hard and fast rule.
Either way, I'll
have
follow the
to
story.
save
I've
him.
totally fucked that up. But Godzilla was very lean and buff, and it was a nice change. And fucking Jean Reno, man. Like,
Sure.
can't get any better than that.
I just love that summer. It was like Deep Impact, Armageddon, and fucking Godzilla came out, and they all had like the same shots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
That was also the summer like all the VHSs had like the
shiny,
the metallic,
yeah.
So it was like you have Lost World, you have the T-Rex bursting through.
Yeah. We also had this on VHS too.
We did.
I remember the tie-in toys for this movie. From, I don't know, Burger King, I want to say.
Maybe Taco Bell.
Might have been Taco Bell.
I think Taco Bell.
I think it was Taco
Might
Bell
have been
because they
Taco
had
Bell.
the Chihuahua.
Yeah,
Who wanted to get? Who was like, here, these are.
Yeah,
wanted to
yeah,
give it to him, and then we had like the Taco Bell dog that did that.
Yes, naturally.
I still have my Godzilla keychain from the animated series.
That's
sequel to
cute.
this movie. I still have it, and I got it from the Scholastics Book Fair.
Naturally. Naturally.
You know, Scholastic Book Fair was the shit.
Definitely.
Say what you want about the movie,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but the teaser trailer that was shot specifically as a trailer. Do you recall what it was?
No, I don't.
They're at a museum and they're looking at the T-Rex bones.
Oh, yeah.
And then Godzilla's foot just comes in and destroys it.
Yeah.
Great
Yeah.
teaser for the movie.
So
Yeah,
what I remember as an elementary school kid was like we were big into Jurassic Park at the time, obviously, and you know, you had a good sense of scale of like the footprint of a T-Rex compared to a person, which is like about the size of us, maybe a bit bigger. And then Godzilla '98 has like I think Hank Azaria trying to film it from above, and you just completely encompasses him. His foot is or her foot is like the size of like an 18-wheeler and then some.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, it's so much bigger.
Yeah.
And it's just hiding in Manhattan. Nobody
Just
can
hiding.
find it.
Yeah.
Also, to that point, because the movie's on 4K, you kind of see all of the imperfections. So the scene in the diner when you see the foot go down, that's just the screen. It's literally, it's not even 3-dimensional. It's fucking flat.
It's a matte painting.
It literally is.
I think that was the movie. Whenever you would go to Future Shop, and I'm dating myself by saying that would always be on the TV screens when they would show the cool 1080p.
Oh, yeah.
TVs.
That's much
Just part of the demo reel.
Yeah, not so much on 4K.
And then closing out with my worst, I have a pretty ass-tastic movie that I fucking hated.
Nice.
It has a pretty long title too, so hopefully I'll fuck this one up. I am the pretty thing that lives in the house.
Inside the house.
Inside the house.
I told you not to watch that.
Dude, it's in the house.
I think it's inside the house. Whatever you
I
tell me.
literally pulled it off Letterboxd.
Let me check.
I'm on Tony's side on this.
You're probably right. I don't really care. I don't actually care that much. I went to the world premiere of this.
See, and I remember
In the house. You're right.
I remember going to the world premiere of a little film called February. Other people that are on this podcast would know this film as The Black Coat's Daughter.
Correct.
Great
title.
OGs call it February.
Lame title.
Anyways, that movie was fucking great. So I was like all amped to see this movie. I missed it, and for whatever reason, missed it right up until now. And there's a reason why I didn't watch it. It is a crisp 88 minutes, I think.
That's nice.
I wanted to tear my fucking eyes out.
That's
so
nice.
boring.
It is so fucking boring. And you want to talk about bedtime stories? Just listen to this woman's narration.
Right.
Just right to sleep. Right to sleep.
Lovely.
I told you not to bother.
I wanted to.
You want to get your Osgood Perkins numbers up?
Definitely need to get my Osgood Perkins movies up. Hansel and Gretel is the next on that list.
Oh, Lord.
Gretel and Hansel.
Gretel and Hansel. Okay, look at this guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, avoid this movie like the plague. There's a reason why it's like literally like scraping the barrels of Netflix. Had the old school logo that I really appreciate.
Oh, that's nice.
But yeah, avoid this movie.
Yeah.
There's
Wasn't gonna touch
better. There's more top tier Oscar Perkins movies.
Yeah.
I couldn't finish it. Like I can't.
I pushed
give a
it.
rating to it because I turned it off. It was that.
I was actually folding laundry through the last hour.
The laundry fold.
There you go.
It didn't help.
I went to the world premiere and
Did you fall asleep?
I got through it. It was agonizing, but I got through it, and I regret not asking Bob Balaban for a photo.
Oh, already full.
I would have loved that. It was at Hot Dogs. That's why I would have been hard there.
Bob Balaban.
I know. That was the only reason it was good to see that there, and Osgood Perkins was there, and I was like, you know what? No. I just want to cheer for Bob Balaban.
No.
You sat 4 rows away from me at the world premiere in February.
I thought that was a Midnight Madness.
No, it was Vanguard.
Oh, Vanguard. Yes. Did you say hi?
I did.
Did he say hi?
We just wait. I was like, hey, because Melissa was like, I was like, hey, it's the creepy guy from Legally Blonde. And she's like, oh my god, that's him. I was like, how did you know that?
I think I first saw him or recognized him in a movie called Dead and Breakfast.
I think I've seen that movie.
We saw it together.
Oh, we did. Okay, there we go.
I do remember that movie.
Heavily cribbing from Psycho. You know,
Imagine that.
yeah, but good movie nonetheless.
All right. It's all right. That's it then.
Yeah, that's it.
Hey. So what are we moving on to then?
We're gonna get fucking weird.
No,
No.
we have a couple other ones we want to talk about before we get fucking weird.
Yeah.
All right, perfect.
Yes.
Kick it off.
So we have 2 screeners we watched this week that were National Anthem and The Dead Don't Hurt. Is that what it was called?
Sure is.
All right. So I'm going to talk about National Anthem because I didn't have the privilege of watching The Dead Don't Hurt.
Absolutely.
Wonderful film. First time director Luke Guilford. Stars Charlie Plummer, and he is a 21-year-old construction worker, just kind of trying to get by, get the money he needs. He doesn't really know who he is. He doesn't have any friends, and then he kind of falls in with a group of just misfits, I would say, who don't really.
They're rodeo people.
Yeah, they're rodeo people. But they don't really. They all belong together, but they don't really belong anywhere else, type thing.
Yeah.
And then he kind of finds that they're his people.
Absolutely.
And it's really well done. Really well done. I thought that he was really good, and then Eve Lindley, who plays Skye in that film, they kind of have like a romantic subplot that takes up a good chunk of the movie, and I thought that was really well done, as well as Mason Alexander Park, who knocks that movie out of the park.
Literally.
They have a great scene in it where
It's near the end when they are comforting.
that's great. But there's one in the middle where his brother, Luke Guilford's brother, asks them, looks at them, and just like with his doe-eyed 10-year-old eyes,
Very
innocent, like, are you a boy or a girl? And you expect that to be like the mic drop moment, that something will come of this, and then they're just like, I'm neither, and then the kid's just like, cool, and then it just goes on their merry way, and I was like, that's fucking awesome. That's a great fucking scene. Yeah. I wish that this was how everybody lives like this.
It's such a magical moment because you think that it's going to go another way and it goes this way. And it's just absolutely beautiful. And just like the editing and like how they edit between the child and Mason's character, it's just really odd. It's perfect. It's like picture perfect. I really enjoyed it. It literally took me. I remember this. I paused the movie and I wrote the line down because it just catches you off guard.
Yeah, I kind of wanted a little more from the ending. I felt like it just kind of petered out and it didn't really go anywhere. And then there was like there's a rising action and then it just doesn't do anything with it.
Yeah.
So I wanted a little more from the end.
They kind of yada through the end because I would say the last 15 minutes it was just like, okay, we got race to the finish, right?
Which they didn't even need to. It's only like a hair over, and it's like 96 minutes or something.
Yeah, it was short and sweet, and it gets to the point pretty quickly. It doesn't waste any time. So yeah, I was a little bit let down by the ending as well.
Yeah, but everything else I really, really enjoyed.
Yeah. And did we talk about the cinematography?
No, we did not talk about the cinematography. I wanted the
Absolutely.
filmmaker to talk about the cinematography. Tell me, where's the horizon? Tell me.
I'm just going to say this. Picture-esque. Literally, you could take any frame you wanted, and you could literally mount it on the wall. Like, it's the cinematography. I need to do a shout out to the DOP of the film.
I guess it makes sense because Luke Guilford is a photographer, so I guess it makes sense that he would have a great cinematographer.
So I would say her name is Caitlin, and then Dave, can you finish her last name?
Arizmendi. That's what I'm going with.
She's the cinematographer, or they are the cinematographer of the film, and it was great.
Yeah,
I could not complain. Like I said, pull up any frame you want and mount it on the wall. Was it shot on film? Because
It looked like it was shot on film because it had scratches on
it.
it.
Had a little bit of scratches on it. It was great.
Does the cinematographer have any other works?
And would you believe the cinematographer is also the cinematographer on other movies that we've watched here, Swallow and Cam.
Oh,
Interesting.
Very
I haven't
interesting.
seen I haven't seen either of those, but I want to see those.
And she was also the cinematographer on Charm City Kings.
Also want to see that.
Yeah. So
neat.
neat.
Also, very artistic three-way scene.
Very in the desert.
Did it have Udo Kier?
It did not have Udo Kier. Did not
It's
have
very
Udo
odd. They
Kier.
literally just the one scene they all just take mushrooms and they all just like kind of just let things go, and
Sure.
very artistic racing.
We love it.
Very dream-like.
So it's a recommend from us if you haven't already told it.
Yeah. I feel like I can see.
Yeah.
We should watch this.
Yes, for sure.
Yes.
It comes out limited release this week. It was
Nice.
in limited release last week in the States. It's in limited release this week here. I believe it's in Toronto. I believe it's in Kingston, and it might also be in Saskatoon.
And the title again is,
National Anthem.
all right, for the listeners.
Yeah.
Thank you, Greg.
I do find when I'm listening, I'm like, oh man, do I have to
fuck
rewind
was it?
10 minutes ago
Yeah.
to what they were talking about?
National Anthem.
National
Yeah.
Anthem.
Yes. So definitely one to watch out for when it comes close to you.
Can I just also mention that Dave's not lived in Toronto for a while? He just put the second T.
Yes, I know.
I didn't want to call him out, but I heard it.
Yikes.
I heard
I
it.
know. I felt bad about it. I felt really bad about it. So it is in
Toronto.
Toronto, Saskatoon, Kingston, Vancouver, Calgary, Winnipeg, and it's going to be in Edmonton for a couple days as well.
Nice.
Yes, Toronto. Okay.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Sorry. James, tell me about the dead. The dead don't hurt.
I don't want to.
No, I want you. Why don't you want to tell us about it?
I mean, okay, I'm going to tell you about it
Yes,
anyway.
please do.
I'm not going to stop. So anyway, Viggo Mortensen wrote, directed, composed, produced, starred in this movie, The Dead Don't Hurt, which I guess is his follow-up to
Falling.
Falling. That was it. I was going to say It Falls for some reason, but Falling. It's a movie that starts at the end and then loops back to the beginning, although you don't quite realize that happens because the editing's not that excellent. So for half a moment, and Tony and I both talked about this, Tony was like, did you figure out what was going on? I was like, it took me a minute to realize the fuck is happening here. It's a French-Canadian woman played by Vicky Krieps.
Oh, I love her.
Yes,
She's the best part.
she's the best part of this movie.
Not surprised.
Meets up with Dutch man Viggo Mortensen, and they settle down in a little town in Nevada.
Okay.
They have a little farm homestead thing with a horse, and they're having a nice little lovely little cute life together in this kind of pseudo corrupt town with some bad people that run like saloons and things. It has Danny Houston in it as the corrupted
And Garrett Delahunt.
Garrett
Of
Dillahunt.
course.
Yeah. So you're kind of your usual names that you're expecting from a random little Western movie. Viggo fucks off and goes to fight in the Civil War for a good chunk of this movie. So you're just kind of following Vicky Creeps, which is great because Vicky Creeps is very good. And things happen that kind of go unexplained. Well, not unexplained. Things happen that they're tough.
Okay.
Tough things occur. I don't want to give too much away.
Okay.
And then Vigo comes back from fighting in the Civil War, and some more things happen. And that's about it. But for a good chunk of this movie, Vigo's just not in it.
Yeah.
And
He's too busy writing, producing,
and composing. Yeah.
Well, everything was framed up around Vicky's character, right?
Very
so
much so.
it's like you don't really see Vigo as like a main character, just like kind of like a side character.
Correct. It's to Tony's point about National Anthem. It applies to this movie as well. It is beautifully shot.
Yes.
It looks great.
Picturesque.
Yeah. The last shot of the movie itself is gorgeous, stunning. Just standing there right beside the Pacific Ocean, just kind of on a beach on a horse, looking out at it, and it's gorgeous. Yeah. It really is. The rest of the movie is
Oh, all right.
slow.
So it was good we skipped it a tiff.
Because we would have been put to sleep.
Yeah.
I was folding laundry. There's a good folding laundry movie.
It's a pretty decent folding laundry movie. If you were distracted and kind of watching this, you'll be okay because you'll kind of yada yada over the parts that are slow. But like, unlike Greg's point about Pig, where there was moments where it's very still and quiet and solemn, and this movie has that, but it doesn't have the same weight to it. You don't really give a shit.
They he kind of holds on to certain moments and holds on to certain reactions and stuff. It's just like, okay, we get it. She's sad. Yeah. She's upset. Oh, the single tear's coming down. Okay, great. Can we move this along? Yeah. And to James's point about the editing was super messy. There were flash forwards and flashbacks, and you couldn't really tell what's what, whether they're in the future. Like it was just a big mess.
Was it better than Falling?
No, because Fallen was a mess. It was a mess editing wise too. So basically, I think I've said this offline, that he needs to just find an editor to reel him in a little bit. Because I feel like if this was just trimmed down, it's like what?
It's 130 minutes.
Yeah. If it was trimmed down at least I would say 20, 25 minutes, get right to the point. Don't have all these moments where you're literally having these soft, quiet moments and stuff. You don't really need all that. There's more. This is more of a action piece, right? Because you can't even really define what genre it is, right? Because there's dramatic moments. I understand that, right?
No, that's the closest I got.
Right?
I can't.
There's no real focus. Are they focusing on the drama? Are they focusing on the drama? Are they focusing on the gangsters or the pleading war that's happening in the background? It's all over the place. It needed a little bit more focus, in my opinion.
Is there a reason why the timeline jumps around so much?
It didn't need
aside from a story, maybe a storytelling point.
Yeah, but it doesn't really
a stylistic choice.
Possibly, but you could put this movie in chronological order and it would still play out the same.
Okay, it's in media res, beginning and then chronological or something like that.
Yeah, I guess it
has to go all over the place.
It is a little bit, but it does start sort of almost at the end, and then it circles back to the beginning. And you follow that, and it does kind of swap a couple times, but for the most part, there's not really much of a point to it.
Yeah,
it literally could have played this out, put every scene in order that it happens, and it would have had the same weight. It didn't matter. I don't know why they did that, put it out of order.
I keep wanting to call it The Dead Don't Die.
Yeah,
that's the Jim Jarmusch.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
Also, You'd Be Happy, Dave. They say the title of the movie.
Ooh, I love that.
They do.
I do love that.
I love that. I did one of those Leo DiCaprio.
I love that.
I definitely did it.
Yeah.
Tony, final question. Are there any movies that you don't fold laundry to while you watch?
That's more of a Dave thing, to be honest.
It's true. It is.
I'm getting ready for my Dominican trip, so I'm folding a lot of laundry right now.
Fair.
I've literally never said I folded laundry to a movie on this podcast except for right now.
Twice
tonight. It's been a big laundry week for Tony.
It's been a laundry week.
I didn't mention laundry buns.
No,
that's true.
Fuck you guys.
Look at you, Dave.
You gotta do something. You know what?
I'm sure it's coming.
Movie on, it makes it fun. It makes it fun.
Sure. Sure.
And then you stop doing laundry if you get really into it.
Yeah.
I truly think it's a Baldwin thing because
It's definitely
mom definitely did it as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just
I
don't
know if
fold
I
my
made a
laundry.
movie, I want people folding laundry while they're watching it.
I have to be
It's
careful.
high praise.
I get distracted by movies, and so today, as I was making dinner, I turned on Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. I was like, I need to focus on dinner, or
Yeah.
else I'm gonna burn some shit.
Yeah. I'll just sit down and stop folding something and just watch whatever I'm watching. Yeah, I can't do it.
I can do it if it's like a Friends episode.
Oh yeah.
I don't know, but I feel like I
Background
need
noise.
to pay attention
Yeah.
to a movie. I
can do
kudos to you guys, I guess.
just like when something's like getting like right to the shit, like I'll stop so I can continue watching it, or I'll pause it, finish up all the laundry, throw it, and then go put it back on.
Fair. Good. So not a recommend on The Dead Don't Hurt.
That one's on VOD this week.
It is.
Yes.
Is that on VOD? I think it's out now.
It should be out right now. Yeah.
So you can watch it if you'd like, if you have some laundry to fold.
Well, you said it looked beautiful, right?
It did.
Yeah, like dads will like it. Like it's an old time western. Like, they'll watch it.
So there's something there.
Horizon came out this week too.
Oh
Yeah,
my God.
In case you don't want to watch a 3-hour bullshit.
If you are folding laundry and you want to look at the TV and be like, that looks beautiful, I love that. I don't want to pay attention to it.
Yeah. If you have a Samsung The Frame TV and you want,
This is the movie. Great.
This is the movie.
yeah.
National Anthem was at TIFF too. Did you know that?
That was at South by.
It premiered at South by, and then it was at TIFF.
Oh, dang.
We just didn't have a place for it, as opposed to Dead Don't Hurt that we just skipped.
Yeah.
A good choice. Good choice was made.
Good choice.
Cool. Tony, do you want to?
Now we can get weird.
Cool.
Evil lurking deep inside, its darkness knows no limit. So listen closely if you dare. This is the Shudder Minute.
Go for it, buddy.
So for my Shudder Minute, we will not be getting weird because this movie is not weird at all.
Oh, pretty upset.
It does star our Lord and Savior Nicolas Cage. It is a film that is called Arcadian.
Never even heard of it.
I will quickly sum this movie up for you. Guys, remember The Quiet Place? Remember how you gotta be quiet?
A Quiet Place?
A Quiet Place.
Oh, okay, yes.
Yeah, that's what it's called, right?
Yeah.
What did I say? I'm really doing bad with the movie titles tonight. Fuck.
You were right last time.
I was right last time.
Yeah.
I fight now.
Dave
I'm
screwed you
repeating
up.
myself again, Greg.
Yeah, that's
You're making me all nervous.
Greg the Keg in the corner there. He's throwing
No,
off.
I'm saying your batting average is pretty good. I'm saying you're not 0-0-0.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Anyways, this movie, A Quiet Place, light. Instead of being quiet, you just can't go in the dark. This movie commits a mortal sin by sidelining Nicolas Cage for 60% of the movie. You just don't do that.
No.
Also, when you have a poster with Nicolas Cage's just Nicolas Cage on it, you expect to be Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
No, it's about his kids.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. I'm not going to ruin how Nicolas Cage gets sidelined, but you can obviously tell. And yeah, this movie was just not great.
Spoilers.
What's that?
Spoilers.
You guys are not going to touch this movie. I can guarantee you this.
I
was going to watch it tonight.
I need to get my Nick Cage numbers up, man.
All right. Well,
Oh boy.
I'm not on Shudder, so I'm going to use my 7-day trial.
yeah, there you go. Do that. Watch Body Melt too while you're at it.
I need to put that on my 31 in October list.
Yes.
Not
Anyways,
great.
avoid this movie like the plague. I really did not like it. Like I said, you can't put Nicolas Cage in a corner. I'm not for that. And yeah, there you go.
All right.
Fine. Cool. Look at that. That was
quick.
2 minutes. Good for you, buddy. I'm so
Getting
proud
better.
of you.
And that was after we were interrupting you.
Yeah, I was
had
gonna
a Shudder minute.
I was going to say.
Yeah.
I don't even think I told you guys what it was about.
His
I
kids.
don't even care.
It's kids and you can't go in the dark.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, it was A Quiet Place, but different.
yeah.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, can't go in
I'm
the
never
dark.
gonna
The
watch
monsters
it.
are out at dark. The kid comes back late, gets trapped. Nicolas Cage has to go and save him. And
We
you've
were
seen
fine.
him.
We were good.
You've seen him.
We don't need to hear the rest.
Yeah, the movie's called
arcade.
No one cares.
Nobody cares.
Was it new a 2024 release?
What's that?
Is it brand new? A 2024 release?
Yeah, I think it was at South by.
Yes.
Cool. Onwards to the main event.
Yes.
The reason that we brought everyone together around the table tonight.
Yes. The reason that we all came together to break bread, we've already kind of referenced it a few times. We are talking about Osgood Perkins' Longlegs, which stars Nicolas Cage.
Did you bring your Longlegs?
I did not. I did not. It also stars Michael Monroe, Blair Underwood, and Alicia Witt.
Sure does.
Where has Alicia Witt been?
I don't really
She was
know.
on Twin Peaks: The Return. I know that because I just watched it.
I heard that. I saw her in David Lynch's Dune.
Hell yeah, so did I. Creepy kid dancing on the battlefield.
There's also apparently an I Care a Lot. Not that I remember a lot about that movie, but
She's been working, and I don't think you remember her anytime.
Yeah.
She's in Urban.
Yeah.
She's the lead.
That's
She's the final girl in Urban
The
Legend.
only thing I know her from is Urban Legend.
Yeah.
She's been around.
Yeah, sure.
She's been around. She's not like Scream Queen Micah Monroe, who's definitely been killing it the last decade.
Star of Independence Day Resurgence.
Yeah, she's also in Independence Day Resurgence.
We're coming full circle.
God, I love it.
Greg did
I love it so
calculated
much.
viewing.
This is
for
a good episode.
I could not believe it when I saw she was in Longlegs. I was like, that name sounds familiar, and I'm not going to remember her face.
Yeah. Oh my God.
She's in The Guest. She's in It Follows. She's in Watcher, which I really want to see. Have you seen that one?
I really liked it, actually.
Yeah, I want to see that one.
That's the one on Shudder, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
It's
I've seen
also,
that. It's good.
I think it might be on another streaming service that came out recently, like Netflix or Prime or something as well.
Yeah, and then she's also in Villains with what's his dick?
Skarsgård.
Skarsgård.
Yeah.
Skarsgård.
That one's okay.
It's on my watch list.
Yeah. So what do we all do? Should we talk about what Longlegs is?
Sure.
All right.
Do you want to?
Sure.
Let's throw it to you. Tell us what Longlegs is about.
Sure. An FBI agent on the pursuit of a serial killer.
Thank you.
That's
Thank
it.
you.
There you go. There you go.
I was going to say, we could just call it a serial killer movie.
Essentially.
Well,
Right?
this one has a twist that it's a serial murder-suicide, which you can't typically be a repeat offender of that crime.
Well, yes and no. Like, his crimes involve.
Can we just admire the fact that the movie ends with the quote "Hail Satan"?
Yeah, it is great for that.
Forgot the kiss.
I forgot the kiss, and the cut to T-Rex,
Yeah.
which was fucking awesome needle drop. Let me tell you. And it starts with a quote from that song too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of T-Rex in this. But yeah, I mean, it's like it's occult murders in a way, and like you are trying to figure out how it's happening or how it's being done. And yes, to an extent, it's murder suicide, but it's mainly murder when you get down to why it's happening or how it's happening.
This is all semantics, and it's going to get into spoiler territory. James, just tell me how you felt about it. Did you like it?
No.
The fuck out of here.
All right. Fine. There's
I'm kidding.
better serial killer movies.
I think the problem.
Obviously, there's better serial killer movies, but like this one is like significantly different than any of the ones we've gotten recently.
Sure.
I think the problem is that it kept getting compared to Silence of the Lambs and Zodiac, and it's neither of those movies.
It is 100% neither of those movies, and that's okay. I also went into this movie completely blind.
Wow.
Same.
Saw nothing, no marketing, no posters, nothing.
Impressive, because they have been marketing the shit out of this movie. It's all been very
TikTok.
cryptic marketing.
Yeah,
like
but
they
it's on
haven't
TikTok,
revealed
right?
a lot. It's been on TikTok, but it's also it's been on YouTube. It's been on Twitter. Like it's been all over. It's been cryptic. They pulled it back.
The only thing I knew was I think just one of you said that Nick Cage is in it, and I was like, oh, okay, cool, whatever.
Yeah, they don't even show his face.
For a long time, I didn't even know that. When you said we were watching Longlegs for this, I was like, I'm going to go as blind as possible.
Yeah.
And I messed up like an hour before going to the theater. I was like, all right, well, let's look at the page. Shit, Nick Cage is not as Longlegs. I wish I didn't know that. I wish I was surprised.
Well, you don't like when they were doing all the trailers and stuff, you don't see his face.
Right.
And most of the movie, his face is kind of like shrouded. You barely see it until like the money shot moment.
Yeah.
To be fair, when I sat down, there was a pre-roll for whatever, and there's an interview with Osgood and
Micah.
and
I saw that too.
and he mentioned Nick Cage. I was like, okay, I would have been spoiled on that anyway, so I don't feel so bad anymore. But I wish I could have not known.
You're on a first name basis with Osgood.
Yeah. And Micah.
Yeah. I mean, look, for me,
I think he's been credited as Oz before.
Yeah.
For me, the differences in this movie, it being a different kind of find a serial killer procedural kind of thing with occult leanings and into horror territory and all of that, it was fine. It just didn't do anything for me. Like the creepy vibes that people keep talking about, I was shivering the whole time. Like it was so I couldn't. I didn't feel that at all. I didn't. Like that was not any part that resonated with me. For me, I just kind of wanted it to be more, I guess, akin to Zodiac in a way, like a little bit more investigative and less fucking pieces of the puzzle keep getting handed to people's laps. Like it was just like, oh, here you go. This is the next thing you got to do. Go, 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 go. Like
Osgood Perkins is not David Fincher.
Correct. And like a lot of it just felt a little bit too convenient and a little bit like it was trying to do two things. Like it's trying to do the investigative work, but then it's also trying to be like a creepy horror psychological thing. And it's not meshing well because it's trying to play within a very small runtime as well and keep things moving, and it didn't do as much for me.
So I want you to know that I will back you up on this. I wasn't high on this movie either.
All right, thank you.
I loved.
We have to leave, but that's fine.
I love the cinematography of it. Yeah, I know. Thanks, Tony. I love the cinematography of it.
Yep,
I loved. I was watching the opening shot where is it the compressed 4x3 where it's through a projector.
It's like 16 millimeters. Yeah, we were trying to go for you.
And that was it. And as that led into the opening credits, I made a point to look for like who the cinematographer was because I was like, this guy is gonna absolutely nail it. It's Andre Zarachi. This is his first feature. He normally does shorts and music videos. He's got a couple more like full-length movies coming out after this. But in terms of doing his job, he knocked it out of the park.
Mm-hmm. That's fair.
Yep.
I think that a lot of my issues with this were about the investigation itself, and a lot of it's nitpicks. I understand it's not going to be Zodiac, even though it leans towards that. But like a lot of this movie had me like wishing I could like leap into the screen. Like, I have questions. I want you to answer this question because you're completely ignoring this huge thing that could blow it wide open. And kind of the same thing as you, James, where like it felt like certain case facts were a little bit too convenient, a little bit like, how do you know the next step of the investigation is here? Because either communicate it to me because I'm not following along, or like communicate like what the path is, because at a certain point I remember being like, oh, investigation over, cool, but there's still half an hour left of the movie and you guys are still acting as if there's still more investigation to go. So what's going on here? So great execution, but I had a lot of issues with it.
Yep.
I think it was a vibes movie. I think it was going for vibes. I was creeped out by it. Like it was very unsettling the whole time. And I feel like that's just his MO, is just making unsettling and just not keeping you like regulated the whole time.
It's the creepy atmosphere, right?
It's very atmospheric.
You can tell that throughout his filmography that's his MO, that it's like the chilling, unsettling, like very like you're uncomfortable.
Yeah, that just never came through for me.
Yeah,
like it never really got to that point where I was uncomfortable at all.
Like none of the imagery was uncomfortable for you. Dead children, dead parents.
Not really that.
Like, first of all, I'm not dead.
I'm just saying, James.
No, but
quite a few dead children in this.
Sure, I also don't have children, so I can't hook into things that you might as well.
It's not just like.
I'm just saying, there's differences and connections there, but regardless of that, no, like there wasn't much that like really made me feel unsettled the entire time. Like there was. I don't know, even like the scene where, he comes into her cabin. I was like, whatever, like it's fine. I don't know why you fucking left another door open, but sure, You know, you're an FBI agent. What the fuck are you doing?
See the shot right before that though, where I think she's on the phone with her mom, or she's reading something, and like it uses the foreground and background where like there's nothing going on behind her, but you're staring at that door the entire time. Yeah, I think that was the stuff that worked a lot better for me. Sure, not necessarily a creepy thing in the window, actually walking around. Okay, I get it, and it's over in a second. Yeah.
So I think Osgood Perkins has an incredible control of tone that he forces throughout this movie. And you mentioned that the creepy atmosphere didn't work for you. I get that. I think it did work for me. I think the opening of the movie is probably one of the better openings to a horror movie of the last, I don't know, 5-10 years or something like that. And like you, I went in completely blind. I didn't see any trailers before this. I had no idea what Nick Cage looked like in this movie. Correct. And the whole time you're just seeing it framed from like the nose down and him saying creepy shit like, I forgot to wear my long legs today. That was unsettling to me because he's talking to the little girl. It's not, you're not seeing the whole picture. It's not framed the way you expect it to be. And then the rest of the film, I can see how you wanted more of a procedural investigation type thing. To me, as Dave was saying, like it's a vibes movie. I love the tone of the movie so much and what he was going for that I can be a little bit more forgiving on aspects like that might not have worked for too many people. And I got to give it to him for being able to control a quote unquote insane Nick Cage performance. Sure. Because he is crazy. He is up there, but his screen time is limited and he's used, I think, to a really chilling effect where Nick Cage, if it was another director where they let Nick Cage be all over the movie, it could have been a totally different movie where the tone doesn't work.
It would have been hammy too, probably.
Yeah. So I think the performances of the movie really help it. Sure. Because Nick Cage, I think, is great. Michael Monroe, I think, is really good. She's really good in a lot of her stuff, and she's playing,
including Independence Day Resurgence.
Yes. I do not remember her in that movie whatsoever. But she's like the angelic figure to the devil that's kind of superseding the whole thing. Like there's moments in the movie where he sort of superimposes the eyes all over the screen, in the background, on the doll, on the shadow devil figure, and it's there for a second and you're like, am I seeing eyes there? And when you adjust to look, they're gone already. So you don't really know what you're seeing on this. Like I had to double check a couple times, like, am I seeing this right? Kind of like how
he uses reds a lot too. Yeah, I found he used a lot of red.
The superimposing thing I thought was kind of a little bit like The Exorcist, where they kind of splice him into the film popping up, but done to a little bit more sinister effect, because it's kind of just comes in and then it's out, and it's gone before you realize what you're seeing.
Sure. I mean, I'll give you the opening. I don't think the rest of the movie ever lived up to what the opening was, but from a creepiness side. But I will give you the opening, because the opening was very, very good. Yeah. I think everybody can fully agree on that opening being probably one of the best in a horror movie in a while. Yeah. It's excellent.
Before I let Tony talk, because I know he wanted to say something, I think the scene with Kiernan Shipka is also very, very well done. Yeah. She's in the mental hospital, like the one that survived type thing. I think her scene is just as effective as the opening.
This movie has great like one or two scene characters. There's the other FBI agent who has like one scene or two scenes. Oh yeah. At the end of Act 2, where I'm just like, I love every line that comes out of your mouth. That's figuring it just goes on for the 24 minutes.
Mr. Tom.
So I'll admit, when Dave says it's a vibes movie, it's definitely a vibes movie, because I told that I was a little bit in the bag when I saw when at the beginning of the movie, and the whole opening bit, how it plays out, like you're really getting into it, and then when Nicolas Cage comes onto the screen and you only see half his face, I remember being like, why are they only showing half his face? And he's saying creepy shit, and I was just like, you know something's gonna happen, sure, right? But then just how it plays, how he just like quickly comes down, you literally like blink and you miss it and then smash to the title card. I remember freaking out, being like, what the fuck did I just see? And that moment literally sets the tone for the rest of the movie, right? And it sets the tone of his performance, because literally every scene that Nicolas Cage is in this movie, he makes it count. From that opening bit to the freak out in the car to him fucking with the store clerk. And then
That's a good scene.
right? And I just remember that was like the grand reveal, right? When he does the thing with his hands and he's making faces and stuff. And then I'll even say the interrogation scene. The interrogation scene is what literally like puts it over the edge, because he's literally like, it's no holds barred. It's not even, you're not even looking at Nicolas Cage, you're looking at a bona fide psychopath. Like, he is fully like absorbed into the character of Longlegs, and it's so refreshing to see, right? Because like this movie, it's you can compare it to Zodiac and Silence of the Lambs, and you see their influences, right? But like I was on from the get-go, and it just literally wrote it out. Yeah, there's some missteps and stuff. The twist near the end, I wasn't entirely sold on that, right?
I'm still not.
Right? And talking about it more, I can see other people's opinions on it, but I'm literally holding on to Nicolas Cage, and I can let that one go, just because of how much of a psychopath he is in this. He literally gets under your skin, and Perkins's tone really comes through. Like you see his evolution from February to
Black Coat Stunner.
what's that?
Black Coat Stunner.
Fuck that. February.
OGs call it February.
Probably February.
And then you see the pretty thing that lives in the house, right? And I haven't seen Gretel and Hansel, but from what I've read about it, it's the same thing. So you see this grand progression, and I really liked it.
Nice.
I think like the last little bit, I was kind of off board with it, but I still like how it's framed, and I really like the last shot in the movie. I really love that shot.
Man, like I looked at you guys at one point, and I just started laughing, right? Because my heart was still racing. I was just like, what the fuck is going to happen?
I think it's really a movie that kind of expectations kind of set it in a different place. Like when I was talking to Matt before the movie, I was like, I know it's not going to be scary. Like I already know it's not going to be scary, but I just want it to be unsettling.
Yeah.
And I was unsettled. I don't know how the rest of the crowded theater thought about it, but I was unsettled.
Well, I felt like the three of us were the only ones really reacting to the movie.
That's fair.
But like that's the same story with all the movies that we go to.
That's true. That's true. That's true. That's true.
I felt like when I was jotting down a lot of my thoughts, I had like a lot of I had a vibe coming out of the theater where I wasn't completely on board with it, where like I could name what I really, really liked about it, but like there was a lot of like little things that just never really worked for me, and it wasn't just the end, it was like things throughout. And as I was like jotting them down and trying to get my thoughts on paper, it was more like, oh, that's a nitpick. I can't really dock a point for that, because that's like, I realize if you CinemaSins your way throughout the whole thing.
Yeah. I mean, you can.
I don't want to be that person.
Yeah.
But my list was getting so long, and I was getting, you know what? This was what bothered me throughout.
Mm. Yeah.
Why did nobody care about that FBI agent who got his head blown off?
Nope. Doesn't matter. Just like it's like, this poor bastard's gonna die in a minute. Oh, yep, there's he's dead. And
so loud too.
Yeah.
Never come back to it.
Just like you need to see it come.
We go to that, from that to like some liminal spaces fucking psychic test.
I wanted to know who he was, by the way. Because he's got a very angular, distinctive face. I want to know like what else it's been in. And he's gone.
Gone. Just gone.
So where do you stand on the supernatural aspect of
Loved
this?
it.
Yeah?
I love the balance that they struck, and I love where they landed on it.
Okay, because I feel like that's where a lot of people are having some issues, because they might be going in expecting Silence of the Lambs, Zodiac, where none of that is present, and then that supernatural element is kind of seeded throughout, but then a lot of the movie relies on that at the end with the dolls.
So the movie relies so much throughout on the question of, is this a supernatural thing? Is this is it just a guy doing this? Some of my favorite fiction does ride that line and does kind of play with the fact that like there is supernatural, or at least there's the implication of supernatural shit that drives people to do unnatural and inhumane stuff. And that's kind of what I was like looking for this to kind of where I was looking for it to land. And the note that this found with that, I was very happy with.
Cool. Nice.
Yeah,
James?
I sit on the same page. The supernatural element, like the how question that was brought up as sort of like the main part of the mystery here, I really enjoyed. Like I enjoyed trying to figure out how it's happening. I thought that part of the mystery was great. The resolve of it, cool. I like it. I'm in. The twist, junk. Did not like the twist. Didn't do anything for me. I was like, of course. Yeah, sure. I don't know. It wasn't a twist, so to speak.
It could have been better.
Yeah.
I felt. It
Could have also been excised completely.
Yeah.
Yeah, also.
It could have been something completely different. I agree with you there.
Yeah, I don't know. That part didn't work with me, but like everything else leading up to it was I liked from a mystery side and from a trying to figure it out side and how it's done. Yeah, liked it.
Sorry, you like the resolve of the supernatural part of it, but you don't like the twist.
Correct. Like how it's being done with the dolls.
Yeah.
How it's being done, I like.
Okay.
The follow up twist to that.
Okay.
That was like, well, whatever.
Okay. I feel like they're really entwined though. Because I don't think these people are letting in.
Well, yeah.
But that's like, you wrote the script that way. Like you could have written the script like Nicolas Cage looks like the priest outfit from Face Off, where he just looks like a normal guy.
Yeah.
Does he?
No,
That,
you
just the way he acts in that movie with that priest outfit. I don't think that's a normal guy.
I guess this
no,
is
but you'd be more willing to let him in your house if like he toned himself down a little bit.
But it's Nick Cage. I know what you're getting at. I know what
listen,
you're getting at. We're getting into semantics and spoilers.
The who it was is I didn't. It could have literally pick anybody. Like it wouldn't have mattered to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
What did we think of Blair Underwood?
He was fun. I liked him.
He's
I
whatever.
thought he was pretty solid. I thought he was great.
I liked any scene that he had with Michael Monroe. I felt like he brought out a better chemistry between the two of them. They really elevated each other when they were on screen together.
And what did we think of it being set in explicitly in the 90s? Other than the opening scene that's not in the 90s.
Well, yeah, obviously that. I questioned it at points. I was looking at cars. I'm like, what the fuck decade are we in? I can't figure this out.
I pointed this out, and apparently Matt didn't notice, but like, do y'all just have like photos of the sitting president in your home?
Yeah,
like, like in the 70s, are you going to have photos of Rich Nixon in your home?
Absolutely.
I mean, if you work for the FBI, maybe.
Yeah.
That guy didn't work in the FBI.
You gotta have Bill Clinton.
They kept going with Bill Clinton.
No,
Blair Underwood.
the camera father with the axe.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
But they showed it before. Blair Underwood had. Like,
He
a picture
always
of
had Bill
Clinton.
Clinton in his
Because that's how I caught it right away. Was when Bill Clinton shows up. I'm like, oh,
that's
it's the 90s.
that was my context clue because everything else was throwing me off. I'm like, I can't fucking place when this movie is right now because like the cars were like 80s to 90s.
And that
like,
made perfect sense to me too. That's like, all right, he's a federal agent. Of course, he would have the sitting president on his.
Sure, yeah.
And I like when a film does that, where it doesn't explicitly tell you, or it just
Yeah,
gives you little details, and you're like
Yeah.
patting yourself on the back. Oh, okay, I know.
Yeah.
where this-
Until I noticed that whenever she was like looking at case files, I was constantly searching for the date to figure out where we are. And then like Bill Clinton shows up to go 95.
Yeah. I was like,
Yeah,
and then she your post Monica?
And then
we don't know.
and then she uses a payphone.
Oh yeah,
That too, because like where are this? Like if it was a current day or the last 20 years, there'd be a cell phone somewhere,
Yeah, that was the plot of Phone Booth 2006.
right? I was telling him afterwards. I'm like, if I show the phone booth to Quinny, he's gonna be like, "What the fuck is this?
Yeah.
Why is this movie set in this one location? What is a phone booth?"
It's explained at the start of the movie. It's the last phone booth in Manhattan. because they're all getting rid of. We have cell phones now.
It's just nuts because like phone booths were so.
That might have been like 2003.
I think it was 2003. But phone booths were so synonymous. Like,
I have a quick question. Did anybody have an issue with the climax of the movie where I understand she's just kind of standing there and something's happening in the kitchen and she's not really doing anything about it?
So I assumed that there was some kind of force holding her back where like even if she could try to intervene, like it was more powerful than she was to step in.
I could buy that if the previous scene of the doll's head exploding wasn't there, because she's kind of being released.
By the way, that is me being generous to the movie because nothing in the movie prior to that supports what I just said.
Yeah.
I think
That's why I'm asking.
I'm going with the Twitter fucking hat brigade on this, but they've mentioned kind of the illusions that she might be autistic in how she reacts to certain things. So maybe she doesn't. Maybe she's never seen something like that before. Is
that pre or post doll?
But she's the whole time she's autistic, but so she doesn't really react. So she can't really react to that.
She's not witnessing it because it's in another room. But
That's true.
There's a previous scene where her partner gets her
his head blown off,
and she immediately goes in, gun drawn.
Yeah. Although she does put her back up against a window, and I'm like, you fucking idiot!
That bothered me so much.
I was like, this is how you die. What the fuck? A window?
Although one could argue that like as soon as her partner got his head blown off, like whatever was possessing that suspect and was holding her back potentially released at the point, which is why like he gave himself up after that.
Yeah,
but that wasn't even the same case.
I think that's unrelated.
Yeah, completely unrelated.
That's not part of this case?
No,
it's what gets her on the case.
Yeah.
Her gut knowing where
The Sixth Sense.
Yeah,
because she's psychic, right? So that's why they're trying to check her psychic abilities.
Yeah, with that weird liminal spaces, fucking interview room.
Yeah, that
fucking
was
Blade Runner 2049 shit that they're doing.
Definitely.
I was trying to follow. I was like, I don't know where you're getting these words from these images.
I don't see what she's seeing.
I'm clearly not psychic, not even half.
Exactly. Do we think that he's trying to channel or trying to get out of his dad's shadow, making these kind of movies? You know who his dad is, right?
No, I don't.
Anthony Perkins, Psycho.
Norman
Bates.
Yeah, maybe.
Possibly. Yeah.
Like that's how that like Osgood is a nepo baby, but yeah, his dad was.
Wow, now I hate this film even more.
The only good nepo baby is Jack Quaid because he recognizes his privilege.
Nicolas Cage changed his name deliberately so that he could stand on his own
too. You know,
Wyatt Russell.
Yes.
Wyatt
Russell.
The dog?
Yes. The dog.
The dog from Frasier?
Yeah. As a point of order, Phone Booth was 2002.
It was in 2000. It was scheduled to come out in 2002, and it probably premiered at some festivals, but it got moved to 2003 because of shooting.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah,
I was gonna say because it was a Kiefer Sutherland movie.
Yeah,
and that was a couple years into the 24, which I was huge into. So yeah, I probably, if it was only 2002, maybe I wouldn't have been excited for it. But when I said it was a Kiefer movie in 2003,
yeah.
Day one.
I was there day one Kiefer homie.
Absolutely.
But yeah, it got delayed because of a shooting. I don't remember what the shooting was, but there was a shooting.
Was it
it might have been
the guy
Washington
in the trunk that kept shooting people?
Yeah.
Was it that?
Yeah,
It was
the guy who claimed. Wasn't it the one where he claimed during his case that he was in the Matrix and the Matrix was telling him to do it? I shit you not. It's one of those defenses.
But if it was a sniper, then I could see why that movie in particular would be.
Yes.
DC sniper attacks in October.
DC sniper attacks in October 2002, but it did come out in November 2002. Oh, it's set to be released theatrically in November 2002. It was released April 4th, 2003.
There you go.
And it premiered at TIFF.
Of course it did. Of course it did.
Is the DC sniper the guy in the trunk, or am I wrong?
I think he was the guy who was up in the tower. And he was picking
Beltway sniper attacks were a series of coordinated shootings that occurred through the weeks of October 2002 through the metropolitan area, consisting... sorry, it's just a lot of nonsense. Snipers killed 17 people and wounded 10 others in a 10-month span.
Jesus.
If it's a 10-month span, I think he's not in a tower.
I think you might be. I think you are correct. I think it might be the. But there's a bunch. Like it seems to be like a whole bunch.
You said Beltway's sniper?
Yeah, Beltway sniper.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I looked at the movie that I was based on. You're right, man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. There you go.
2002, different time. Although not that different of a time, but
What a different time.
Yeah. It was a different time.
So, to kind of put a bow on things, then just around the table, recommend or not recommend? I know Dave's jizzing his pants over it, so
I'm not jizzing my pants over it. I really enjoyed it, and I thought it was very effective, and I thought it wasn't fucking boring.
no,
Because I was expecting it to be a lot slower than it was, as opposed to how methodical it was. Yeah, I do have some hang-ups on it, and there is some contrivances that are a little too convenient, but overall I really enjoyed it.
Sure.
Really enjoyed it. And it was like, I guess it's also because we just saw Maxine, which we'll talk about in our next episode, but Maxine really deflated me.
Right,
so this one where I was kind of
lifted your spirits.
This one lifted my spirits.
I love it.
I'm also a recommend.
Theater recommend, or will you recommend, or both recommend?
You know what? I'm going to say theater recommend because I do think we need to see more movies like this where it's not really based on anything else. It's an original IP. It did a lot better than people were anticipating, which I'm very happy about because it opens the doors for other movies like this.
Yeah.
So I'd rather see a movie like this than something that, like
another reboot,
exactly,
legacy sequel, nonsense.
Anything like that. So
Twisters.
I mean, I'm going to see that.
Twisters.
But I think the horror genre, this is a pretty good era for horror movies. They're going down new avenues, and I like the patience that a lot of these movies have. And I think this one, if you can avoid the hype machine of whatever scariest movie ever, like I never had that thought in my mind, but just going in, watching it for what it is, I think you'll have a good time. I do think it is creepy. I do think there's a vibe that's unsettling, and it's a great film. So I would say, go see it.
Fair. I'd say watch it, but I'm not gonna strongly recommend that people rush out to the theaters to see it. That's the way that I landed on it.
Yeah.
But I agree with your points too. That it is an original movie and it's an original idea. And,
original in quotations.
Yeah, in giant quotations, but it works, and there's it didn't work for me for vibes, but I mean, go in expecting a vibes movie, you might be have a better time than I did. But overall, I don't hate the movie. Just kind of landed very meh for me.
yeah, I would recommend it because obviously there's people who it did vibe very hard for, even if I'm not one of them. I do like the idea of actually supporting movies like these so that we get more of them. And the things that it did very strongly. Even my opinion as somebody who wasn't that high on it.
Yep.
So yeah, I would absolutely recommend it.
Definitely don't smoke a joint. Watch this because I freak the fuck out. Or if that's your thing, you want to freak the fuck out. This is the perfect movie for that. Definitely a strong recommend for me. It definitely has its flaws, but Nicolas Cage is absolutely incredible. And if you're a fan of Nicolas Cage, definitely seek this one out. I wouldn't rush to go see it, but definitely see it in the theater because the sound design will definitely get under your skin. But if you see it at home, watch it with the lights off, and enjoy the ride.
Cool.
Cool.
It was a good convo about Longlegs, I think.
I do like it when not everybody's on the same page.
Yeah,
And
right?
you get a little back and forth.
Yeah.
It's
It's less of a
more
circle
entertaining.
jerk.
Yeah.
Well, and it prompted some of your more pointed questions about like, all right, well, did this thing work for you? Did this not?
Yeah. I
You
just
can have a good discussion.
Yeah, I think that's more interesting to listen to.
Yeah, I agree. I like it. This was fun.
This was wonderful.
Yeah.
Do we have any closing segments, or are we just going to wrap this bad boy up?
I think we should just wrap it up. I have much to say about the new 4K of the Raid, but I will save my...
Oh, we're saving that for
thoughts
the
for-
Maxine episode
for the
as well?
Maxine
Yeah,
episode.
Yeah, okay, so we got a lot coming.
yes.
Also,
Fantasia's coming.
And Fantasia.
Well, that was going to be my next point. Thank you.
Sorry.
Yeah, I was going to say there is an episode in between. I think that's going to happen. That we are working our way through some Fantasia movies
Yes.
as we are press.
Yes.
And that is a lot of fun and exciting times for us right now.
Yes. We got a couple of special interview episodes coming up too.
Correct. The festival is just starting.
Yes, it will be starting the end of this week.
End of this week. So yeah, it is right at the beginning of time for this festival. We got a bunch of things already cooking and brewing in terms of interviews, in terms of screeners, in terms of other things. So we are excited to put together a whole list for you.
Yes,
I think in our next episode, and then we'll have our regular episode, or it might be Fantasia Part 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Like it was that one year where we just kept talking about Fantasia deep into August.
last year. So I think we should do 5 this year.
All right, settle down. I can't keep up with your pace.
I just fucking love this festival.
I know you do, and I do too. It's
Fucking festival for the sickos.
yeah.
That's true.
It's for the people.
It is
It's
for
what
the
it
people.
is. But yeah, so we'll be back. But also thanks, Matt, Greg. You guys were great. Thanks for coming on.
For having us.
This was fun.
Thank you for having me again. Greg, I thought you did a great job.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes.
Movie Chasm revival.
Movie Chasm Revival.
God, I remember the movie Chasm.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
What a
Film
podcast.
news, views, and reviews.
And that one episode where we wanted to do like, all right, well, it's the final season of Lost. Let's talk about every episode as it is.
Christ.
It's a different time.
Different times. Different
We're
times.
lost, everyone.
I love Lost.
It's back on Netflix.
It's been on Disney Plus forever.
Did
Wow.
you see all the different articles that are coming out, like the filler episodes you can skip, the episodes you absolutely can't
Hilarious.
skip?
People put watch guides together.
Yeah, for
Incredible.
Lost.
Listen, just skip the episode where Jack gets his tattoo. Watch
Oh, God.
everything else.
Yeah, God, I barely remember that episode, but I remember just being like, do I have to keep watching this? Fuck. Anyway,
I've never seen Lost.
that's okay. You have time.
I mean, it definitely changed the way TV shows were done.
Yeah.
I think.
I think it's also a very
Wow,
good,
network TV shows were done.
yes,
Sorry.
and
Yeah.
it's a good business case for figure out an ending before you start making a show.
Yeah.
I like the ending.
You can have that. I actually don't mind the ending. You could tell as you're going through it, they had no fucking clue where they were going to go. They were just kind of figuring it out as they kept writing stuff.
I don't care for the last season, but I like the ending.
All right, that's fair.
I hated the ending when I first saw it, but like upon reflection, I do like it, but I do not like the last season as well.
Yeah.
Justice for Anna Lucia.
Oh my God.
Fast and Furious is the justice.
Oh my God. Anyway, thanks guys for coming out. If you feel like there's another movie that you want to be back on for, we are always welcome to have you. But until then, I'm still Jimmy.
I'm still Dave.
I'm still ATW.
I'm still Matt M. Smooth Laden.
I'm still Greg the Keg.
Fucking A. And we'll be back with you soon.